Hi, my name is Salma Banawan and welcome to the pre-release material task 1 for the March 2021 paper. It's a multiplication quiz pre-release. A brief description: we need to write a program for a quiz to help younger students to practice their multiplication tables. There needs to be two ways of using the quiz: testing and learning. Testing, the student is given one attempt at answering each question and the score is calculated for the whole test. A student can choose which multiplication table from 2 to 12 to use for the quiz. There are 5 questions in each quiz. Each question must use the chosen multiplication table and a different whole number from 1 to 12 as the multiplier. In task 1, we're testing the students. Students enter their name and a choice of multiplication table. Each question is displayed on the screen one at a time. So question 1, 2 times 7 equals. Students enter their answer and move on to the next question. A running total of correct answers score is kept. At the end of the quiz, the student's name and score are displayed with a personalized message related to the score. For example, Arav, your score is 5 out of 5, well done, full marks. Dia, your score is 3 out of 5, have another practice. We'll start with inputs. So we need to input the student's name and we need to input the multiplication table. Of course, in the description it says the multiplication table should be between 2 and 12, so a validation or range check needs to be done. We have our variable student name is equal to input and type your name as the message displayed. Multiplication table is equal to input, select a multiplication to be tested on from 2 to 12. Now, in order to perform validation, we use a while loop and we put the incorrect range. So while the multiplication table that was input is less than 2 or it's greater than 12, we're going to show an error message and we're going to continue in the while loop until the user types a multiplication table that is correct. It's in the correct range between 2 and 12. After that, we're ready to show the questions and input the answers. So the first number of the question is the multiplication table number. For example, they type 2, so it's always 2 times something. Now for the second number, we're going to use the random library. We want a random choice, a random integer between 2 and 12. And also in the question, it says that the number should not be equal to the multiplication table number. So we shouldn't have a question like 2 times 2 or 5 times 5. So there's a validation for that. While the number is equal to the multiplication table number, we're going to again search for another random value until they're both not equal. So once we're done with this beginning, num1, num2, and while, we're ready to show the question because the numbers are fine. So we're going to show the question, print question. Question 1 is equal to num2 times num1. And then take the answer as an input. And if the answer is correct, update the score. Okay. Finally, that's a for loop, so that's going to repeat 5 times. So 5 times the correct numbers are going to be displayed, the correct question, and the user is going to input their answer and the score will be updated accordingly. And finally, we'll exit the for loop. Once we finish the 5 questions, we're going to print the student's name and their score, and we're going to print, if their score is greater than 3, well done, otherwise have another practice. So that's the end of task 2. If you type that code into Python 3 and you interpret it, here's a sample output. For example, I typed the name Sam. I chose the multiplication table 5. So the first question is 5 times 6, 30, 5 times 3, 15, 5 times 2. I made a mistake. I put 10. I put 4 instead of 40. And I put 5 instead of 50. Sam, your score is 2. Have another practice. Thank you for watching the pre-release task 1. And we look forward to seeing you in the other tasks. Bye-bye.